The Coefficient Cup is my favourite cup, seeing as it's the only one Hearts have a chance of winning, despite their contribution to it being the bare minimum, just similar to the Scottish Cup and Scottish League Cup. But it looks like the Spfl are also keen on the Coefficient Cup, and they want to be lifting it in the near future, as they are willing to postpone Scottish Premiership League fixtures in order to enhance the chances of Scottish teams qualifying through the playoff rounds. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, and I think this is good news for a change. Finally, the SPFL, Scottish football, they're getting something right. They're taking a leaf out of other countries, other nations' books. They're seeing that sometimes these other nations are willing to try and help clubs, and other clubs are willing to postpone and work around fixtures in order to try and get their teams further in Europe. And it looks like Scotland could now be doing the same, because they're willing to postpone games in the league in order to try and get more Scottish clubs past the playoff places.
Here, it's a positive move, it's a positive step, but would every club accept it? Would every club want to fall behind in the league in order to get through in Europe? You would suggest, you would think yes, but not every club actually performs better like that. Let's be honest, see Rangers, for whatever reason, it has actually been proven this season. See, when they've had a week off, they come back and drop the ball, but when they have a congested part of the season...
What happened to them against Dynamo Kiev? Because they dropped the ball in both those games.
Hold on, they drew away in Poland because it had to be played there.
So it was a neutral game, wasn't it, away from home?
And then Jeff, they fucked them.
It was as much away.
It was not a red.
It was as much away for Rangers as it was for Dynamo Kiev.
Rangers battered Fenerbahce, right?
I like the way you just ignore that point.
What do you mean?
You say Rangers away.
Ukraine's closer to Poland. And
doesn't matter.
That was a home state. Wait, so hold on. That's like saying Hampden was neutral. No,
Hampden's in Scotland, you two. Alright then, so see if Rangers played in the Aviva Stadium. They played that would be a home game for Rangers because it's closer to Ibrox.
No, my point is that...
You don't have a point.
Dynamo Kiev were playing in that stadium in Poland.
Who cares?
Who cares? When do Rangers play in the Aviva Stadium, out of curiosity?
I'm bringing it up as an example.
I don't know. Rangers,
you're saying, it's closer.
Rangers have opened their doors to a lot of things. Maybe Aviva Stadium's up next.
Maybe they'll be playing in Saudi Arabia soon as well. Oh, no.
Anyway,
anyway, right, so... The clubs aren't being forced to postpone their games, but they are given the option to postpone their games.
The Saudis might force them to postpone a game.
Well, the Saudis have forced you to do a lot of things. Blood money. Anyway, Scottish clubs will have the option to postpone a league match to prepare for a playoff round tie in European competition next season. This goes for all three competitions, whether it be Champions League, Europa League, or Europa Conference League. Now, previously, postponements had to be agreed by both clubs, but now a team playing in Europe can make the decision themselves. So they do not need their opponents for that fixture to agree to postponement. So, for example, Hibernian are playing in a playoff game and they're taking on Dundee, who are not in Europe. If Hibs want to postpone the game, Dundee have no say. They cannot, they don't need to agree or disagree. They don't need to give Hibernian their blessing. Dundee are just going to have to postpone it, and they're going to have to like it.
Yeah, they're going to have... obviously, when you've got situations where both clubs have to agree to it, the team that's not in Europe really shouldn't agree to it, and I don't blame them for not agreeing to it.
Well, there could be team players and agree to it, but now those clubs are irrelevant when it comes to this. So it is the club that is playing in Europe that will make the decision, and the other club that's not playing in Europe will not make the decision.
Well, it'd be funny if it was the other way about, wouldn't it?
Well, that would make no sense. Now, I guess there's a possibility you could get two clubs that are in Europe playing each other. Slim, but, it could happen.
Yeah.
And then I imagine only one would need to ask for the postponement, and then the fixture would obviously be postponed. However, the changes only apply to matches on the weekend of the 23rd and 24th of August 2025, between the first and second legs of the playoff ties. So, yeah, Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. So, That is what it is. Next season, Scottish Premiership winners will likely be Celtic. They enter the Champions League at the playoff stage, so they will have the option when it comes to their Champions League playoff stage whether they want their games postponed. The second place side, which looks to be set to be Rangers, will enter the second qualifying round, and obviously they need to get to the playoff stage in order for that to happen. Scottish Cup winners will get a playoff. They'll be guaranteed a playoff stage as well, so they're going to have that chance too. So, I mean, the likelihood is we will not see the 4th and 5th team in the league get a playoff spot, because normally it just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, I mean, they will probably go out, but here, let's be wishful thinking, because, it appears to be the strongest top 6 we've seen in years, because the top 6 teams in Scotland are in the top 6, right?
Yeah, but are they in form?
No, not per se, but I mean, yeah, I've said in recent years I actually don't mind the likes of
True, but hold on.
There.
See, but look at Aberdeen right now, right? And Dundee United, whose forms went out the window. Would you say they look stronger now than Kelly and St Mirren last season? Because I don't.
No, but what I would say is, I think those two in Hearts, for example, they've got the squad and the players to beat teams like a Copenhagen over the two legs. I don't think Kelly ever really did.
You don't think Kelly have a better squad than Dundee United?
No, I don't.
From last season? I do.
Well, maybe Dundee United's a bit close, but I'm
strange you say that. Well, I just think Kilmarnock and St Mirren overall were better teams.
I wasn't really factoring in Dundee United. I'm talking more about your traditional top 5. Let's cut the wee.
Well, hold on. Aberdeen lost 14 games in a row, or went 14 games without a win. So
I get it right, mate. 10 defeats, 4 draws. I know my stuff.
Yeah, that's not a record to be proud of. So I would pipe down.
Neva's losing 26 out of 28 at Parkhead against Celtic in the last 28 games. Wee Jambo Bear, so fucking settle down. Alright, Specsavers.
Anyway, managers and club owners have continually stressed the difficulty of balancing European qualifiers in the early part of the season with domestic duties. And now obviously SPFL are trying to do something about it. The league body's chief operating officer, Callum Beattie, said that the SPFL is very keen to support clubs, but stressed options to move games are very limited due to the extremely congested schedule. He said, quote, "This new policy has received extremely positive feedback from our clubs on the SPFL Competitions Working Group, which believe it will be beneficial in their aims of reaching the league phase of UEFA competitions. And we're pleased to be introducing it for next season." End of quote. So, obviously, this is being done to benefit the teams that are in Europe. If they didn't think this would enhance your chances and be beneficial in qualifying, then it wouldn't be happening, because nobody wants to make the league fixtures even more congested. There's no point postponing fixtures than having to play them later in the season, because that ain't helping anybody. It's not helping the team that was in Europe, and it's not helping the team that wasn't in Europe. However, if that is the difference maker, if postponing one game or 2 games or whatever, if that is the difference between a Scottish club qualifying for the league phase of Europe and getting 6 games or 8 games in Europe and helping the coefficient and gaining European experience and representing Scotland on a European level and making money, then I think that is it's a sacrifice worth being made.
It is. It's a correct decision. But like I said earlier, is every team going to take it? We're guaranteed to. Celtic and whoever finishes third, if Celtic win the cup, which we expect they will, that'll be Europa League playoff, guarantee of the Conference League. Will Celtic or the other team take it though? Do you think it's a slam dunk? Do you think no matter what they're going to be like yes?
Why wouldn't you take it? There's no logical reason.
No, I agree. I mean, you could argue, well, what if Celtic have had a poor start to the season?
And that's the only thing I could see, right?
They're 9 points behind Rangers.
Well, that ain't never going to fucking happen.
Do they want to go 12 behind them?
But, I mean, I think you could see, let's say it looks like it's going to be a really close title fight, and maybe Celtic have got off to a bad start.
We'll put it this way, let's say Rangers, right, are 9 points behind Celtic, alright?
At this stage of the season.
Well, I don't know how many games are played. It could be 3.
August.
Have you seen Rangers?
Season begins in fucking August.
I think this year actually begins at the start of July, or the end of July, sorry.
And they're going to be 9 points behind.
Right, either way, say they're 3 or 4 points behind, right?
Yeah, I can see not wanting to fall a further game behind, and the gap potentially going to 7. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only reason that it would. But even then, it's like, I think you take it.
Yeah, logically you do take it, right? You get the week off, and you're focusing heavily on the 2 games, right? But the problem is, what is going to happen later on in the week? Because the Old Firm game would be up next as well, and that we have to play devil's advocate, folks. We have to turn around and say, well, why would a team reject it? Now, I've seen people great about it and say,
spit it out, because we're all waiting to know.
What, spit out what?
Why would a team reject it?
I just fucking said. If you were like behind and you didn't want to fall any further behind. But saying that, I've seen people come out and turn around and say that, oh, why are they implementing this rule? I'll tell you why. Because Celtic are they're in the playoff this year and there's no guarantee. That's why they've done it. No, I don't think that's particularly true. It's a rule that's going to benefit across the board. Alright? Whether it's Hibs, Aberdeen or Hearts or Dundee United to finish third, this will strongly help them. And I think that those 4 Hibs have got the best chance, absolutely. But regardless, your chances go up if you get that Saturday-Sunday game off and you can actually have a proper rest. Now, see Rangers, I think there's a good opportunity Rangers actually make the playoff.
Yeah, no, I think it's more likely than not Rangers will be in a playoff as well.
I hope they are.
So, I mean, this could
I really hope, obviously I hope Rangers are, but for the sake of Scottish football, I really hope that we can get 2 teams into the Champions League.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
That's what we want. That's what we need. So, look, I can't see any negatives from this. And you know what? If you're not in Europe and you're having a game postponed and you're complaining about it, then suck it up, because maybe one of these years you will qualify for Europe, and this option could benefit your club. So, I think that it's a good thing. And it's not benefiting one team. You know, it's not giving one team the option to do it. It's giving all teams that make it to the playoff round, it's giving them all the ability and the option to postpone a game, whether you're in the Champions League, Europa League or Conference League. You know, it's not specific on a singular team that has been given this ability. So it's not a privilege. It's all the teams, so regardless of who qualifies. So I think that there can be no complaints here. And that's a good move.
Could the complaints be, well, why don't you give us the other qualifying rounds as well then? Or is that just too much, backlog?
It's too much. It's way too much. Like, what you going to do? If you have to do 4 rounds, you're going to postpone 2 games either side. That's 8 games in total.
I'm just thinking out loud, my friend, because my team starts in the second qualifying round.
I don't know what round my team will be there, but we'll be there. We'll be there.
I don't think you will be.
Actually, when we win the Scottish Cup, we'll go straight into the playoffs. So, anyway, guys, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.